Hello Stampers, today we're doing this quick and simple card. Very quick and easy to make, using a couple of stamp sets and a punch with an embellishment. You'll need a few stamp sets, the main one being the flower shop, and you'll also need the punch that matches that. Also Jar of Love, we're going to be using this kind of flowery stem thing and the little flower there. And the 5 for All stamp set, we're going to be using this sentiment here. This is a really fab set to have. It's got some amazing fun sentiments, so it's a really great one if you want to make a bit of a fun card. The inks you'll need: Calypso Coral, Pear Pizzazz, Pumpkin Pie and Chocolate Chip. You will need a card base, which is Thick Whisper White, and a Smooth Whisper White panel. And you'll cut that just a little bit smaller than the card base. I will put the dimensions onto my blog, but this card you can make in any shape or size. We're going to start with our Smooth Whisper White and bringing in our punch. And on the top top quarter on the right hand side, we're going to be punching about there our flower. Then we need to bring in our base. Now this bit's a little bit tricky, or can be a little bit tricky, because we've got to line it up under here and stamp our flower. Now this, you could use a stamp positioning tool or the Misty. If you've got a stamp positioner, then you can use that to put it in, but I'm just going to do mine roughly. The first time I did it, it worked okay, so I'm fingers crossed it works for me on video. So, Pumpkin Pie, we're going to ink up our flower. It's very juicy, this one. And then roughly place it over. But before we stamp down, I'm moving that piece. And then stamp in. And fingers crossed, that will fit over there. It's not bad. I need to trim off here a little bit, just to make it more centre, but that's not bad. So that's one way of doing it. It can be tricky, especially as these aren't photopolymer, so you can't see where you're stamping through it. Another way to do it is you could stamp your image onto here, punch it out, and then glue your image, the little flower that's punched out, down to your card base. So that's another way of doing it, but I think, you know, this is not bad. I am going to trim that off slightly now. There's a little bit off this end, a little bit less than that, and a little bit off the bottom. And that should fit a lot better. There you go, that's not bad. Okay. So next we're going to be stamping our sentiment. For this I'm going to be using some chocolate chip, because I think it goes really nice with the pumpkin pie. And sometimes it's nice to have a different colour than black for a sentiment. Ink that up really well, and I'm going to place it kind of in the bottom left corner. Now the reason I'm stamping my sentiment first is so I know where to go with the decoration. While we've still got that out, I'm going to open up the centre of the card and put the rest of the sentiment, "You remind me of me," just in the middle there, like so. And we are done with the chocolate chip. Now putting the card base to one side, getting the front back out, we're going to do the other leaf decorations and the small flower. So we need a little bit of scrap paper for that. And I'm using the leafy stem, which is a photopolymer stamp. And for this I'm using Pear Pizzazz. You can use any colour green you like, or any colour leaf colour you like. You don't have to do the exact same colours. But I'm just going to be inking up the kind of the leaves rather than the stem. You don't want too much of the stem coming through. And then you want to line it up so it kind of just comes out your flower. Like so. and again for down the bottom. About there. Okay, and we're done with Pear Pizzazz. Now bringing in my Calypso Coral, and I'm going to use this for this little flower just because it's a little bit darker and it just offsets nicely against the pumpkin pie. So I'm going to put a couple of flowers here. You can die cut these out if you have the dies and stick them on. It's purely up to you. I don't actually mind that you can see the leaves through them. I still think it looks very cute. And one down here. Okay, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Dimensionals because we are going to pop this panel up on our card. So I'm going to put a few in the corners. And a few around the flowers just so it helps keep that bit up. Okay, so now for the kind of tricky bit. Well, actually the stamping of this was probably the trickiest bit, but lining it up neatly without it sticking down too much. I'm guessing about there. It's a little bit tricky to keep the border straight while lining that up, but it's not too bad there. And the other thing I forgot to mention, you do need these. These are the gold faceted gems. They also come in silver and they are really gorgeous. There you can see there. Look how gorgeous they are. And they are perfect for in the centre of flowers. So I'm just going to grab this chunky one here. Ooh. And I'm going to place that in the centre there. So it adds a bit of sparkle and a bit of interest, but it's really, really cute. And the only other thing we're going to do is we're going to bring back the Calypso Coral. I'm just going to put a couple of flowers in the centre there, just to finish off the card. You can also do the same on the envelope. You can decorate the back of the envelope with the little stamp or with the leaves, however you like. I just think it's nice to add a little bit of decoration to the centre there. So that is our card for today, a really quick and simple one, and I love for a change how this flower is kind of back a bit and the panels popped up as opposed to the flower being popped up, and it's super quick and simple to do. So if you like this card, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe. The link to my blog and Facebook page are in the description bar below. There'll be more information on what you need to make this card and the dimensions. If you would like a copy of the new autumn winter catalogue, please do contact me. I'll happily send you one. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.